10 of the most horrible forms of execution you've never heard of. This ancient Persian method of torturous execution involved the victim being stripped naked and fed honey and milk until they developed diarrhea. They were then cast off into a stagnant lake swarming with insects. The combination of the diarrhea and the sweet honey that covered the person's skin would attract hundreds of insects, who would then begin to eat and breed within the victim's skin. Death could take over 2 weeks. In the number 9 spot is a form of execution that many suspect originated in France during the 1700s. It involved a man and a woman who were tied together naked and then thrown into water and left to drown. Some accounts state that the couple would be speared together with a sword before or instead of drowning. Either way, it was a quick and humiliating execution. The next one on the list comes from those good old ancient Romans. Bestiari describes those who go into battle with beasts. Young men would sometimes battle voluntarily for honour and glory, but unfortunately others battled the beasts as a form of torturous capital punishment. The victims would be sent to their deaths naked and with nothing to defend themselves, and even if they succeeded, their captors would often release more wild beasts until one eventually killed them. Number 7 originated in the United States. It is very similar to hanging, where a cord is wrapped around the neck and the person is dropped through a trap door. However, the upright jerker differs in that instead of dropping through a trap door or anything similar, the victim is violently jerked upwards, typically by a crane. This one is particularly nasty. Allegedly practiced in parts of Europe and Asia, it involved the victim being inverted and then sawn in half, starting at the groin. Because the victim was upside down, it meant that the brain would still receive blood, meaning they'd still be conscious for a while. At number 5 is the gridiron. And no, this has nothing to do with football. Instead, this involved tying the victim down on a bed, like a grill, which was then placed on a bed of hot coals. This horrific execution was slow and incredibly painful. On the breaking wheel, the victim would be tied down on a spinning wheel. As they spun, the executioner would smash their limbs up to several times, breaking all of their bones. This form of execution did not result in instant death. Instead, some lived days after being completely shattered. Nasty stuff. Don't let its name deceive you. These long curved iron spikes were formed to resemble a cat's paw, also known as a Spanish tickler. It was a device used to rip and tear off the victim's skin. It was commonly used on thieves and unfaithful wives. It wouldn't typically cause instant death, but the infections from the unwashed metal that set into the deep wounds would eventually kill the victims. Surprise, surprise, yet another painful punishment. This one originated in East and South Asia, where the victim was tied over young bamboo shoots. Because bamboo is so fast growing, within 7 days it would have completely grown through the person, impaling them. Nice. Ling translates to death by 1,000 cuts and is also known as the lingering death. It was used in China between 900 AD and 1905, where the executioner used a knife to methodically remove portions of the body over an extended amount of time. It was used when a crime was considered especially severe, where the perpetrator was deemed to deserve pain, humiliation, and punishment after death. There you have it, fact mates. 10 of the most horrible forms of execution you've never heard of. Please let me know down below what you want to see next. And maybe, if you're brave enough, let me know which one out of these horrific 10 you'd prefer.